Welcome back, friends. And this episode, we are going to talk about when we start to spiral in how hard it is after a loved one dies. So, welcome back, friends, or I'm so happy that you're here if you're new. Please like, subscribe, share this podcast so others can learn and hear about it. This episode, I wanted to talk about the, I like to call it the toddler brain or the victim mentality or when we get caught up in the nobody else has it harder than me kind of situation. So I have a listener that emailed in and her dad recently passed away. He had Alzheimer's or dementia. I think it was Alzheimer's. And so, it's hard. And so she was saying how one of the hardest things was just that she caught herself spiraling in the I have to do all the hard things. I was the one who got the phone call. I was the one who then had to call my mom, my siblings. I'm the one who had to write the obituary. I'm the one, right? Like we start to like line up all these things that we had to do that were hard. And I know for me, like I was one who called my aunts to tell them that their sister was missing because there was an alert that was going to go out. We didn't want them to just get a random alert on their phone. Um, and so we didn't want them to be shocked in that way. But of course, like calling them was still a shock. And so nobody, I don't want to say why. I think I volunteered for that job just because like I wasn't out at the farm. I think my brother and sister had already gotten out there, or my sister was on her way, and my brother obviously lived like a mile away from my parents. And so, again, I'm sorry if you don't know anything about my story, go back and listen to episode or season two, episode one, and I talk about my story. Same with season one, episode one. I talk about my parents' death and especially my mom's and how tragic it was. Um, my dad's was more of a expected death, right? He had cancer. And I really found myself more in this spiral of the I had to do all the hard things. I am a hospice nurse. I was the one, and girl, we had hospice, right? Like we had other nurses there. They were very, very good. But my brother and sister would call me. And so I was the one who talk them through like what signs to watch for, um, what to know when is starting to get nearer death, like what signs to watch for, because a lot of people like don't know, and you think it's gonna be what you see in the movies, right? Where like they take this gasping breath, they say something beautiful of like, tell my wife I loved her, and then they just die. And like, that's not the reality of it. That's typically not what happens, especially like in a dying process, right? Like with my dad, where there's a disease, like there's a process, you know that the body's shutting down. And so I was the one who kind of had to do all of that kind of stuff, right? Like hospice comes and goes, but I was the one who was talking to my siblings about that. I was asking my mom, like, are you sure you want dad to die here in this house where then you're gonna live? And yeah, she was sure. Like, I was the one who was like bringing up these hard conversations. And and then it felt like to me, after my dad died, like my brother wanted to write the obituary. I was suggesting a few songs or something, and I just felt like everybody was saying no. I was the one who, like, when dad took his final breath, they all looked at me, and I was like, yeah, he's gone. Like, so I felt like it was fine for me to be there and do really like the shitty work, right? Like, quite literally, like helping clean things and helping change my father. And obviously, my mom was doing that too with me, but I was doing all that. And then it felt like when it came time, this is just how ridiculous our minds are, right? Like my mind was telling me when it came time to do the fun things, like getting to pick out the pictures or what songs or to write the obituary, like I felt like my family was telling me no. Your input is no longer wanted. You're not the one for that job. Like, you've done enough, step aside. Like, and again, like it's ridiculous because nobody wants to write their spouses or their parents' obituaries. Like 4.5 months later, I got to write my mom's obituary and it was not fun. It sucked. Like we pieced something together, it was fine, but like I just say that. I just say that to let you know, everybody know, that is completely normal to feel like you're the one who is doing all the hard things, who is the one stuck doing the hard stuff while everybody else gets to do the easy things. And so, again, that is normal. And just to kind of like, again, hopefully my story resonates because it is ridiculous for me now looking back, thinking like, how is writing an obituary fun? But for me, it felt very much like it wasn't necessarily fun. It was easier to do than trying to get dad to take his pain medication, to have to like reposition my dad when he was screaming in pain at the end. Like the last time we moved him, we knew he was very close to death, and so I after his eye broke down crying, I told my mom, we're not moving him again. We're not because I can't handle the cries that he's letting out in pain. And so like my siblings didn't have to do that. I have to hear that in my head. Like, but that doesn't mean what they were doing was easy either. It's hard to reflect on your parents' life, try to write out an obituary, looking through the pictures, like bringing up all those memories. Like that's in my mind wanted to tell me like that's easier and it's not. And so again, just the way that our brain is trying to protect us and help us through this time that is so hard. And it's just plain hard. It's just plain hard. And so trying to find things to grasp onto where, oh, look at, they have it easier is just a way of our brain really trying to protect us. It's really just trying to say, like, if you would have got to do that, you wouldn't be feeling this right now, so you should be mad at them, right? You shouldn't be feeling what you feel right now. You shouldn't be like it's their fault. And it makes sense that our brain does that, right? Because it's trying to keep us safe, it's trying to seek pleasure, and it really it's in a roundabout way, it's trying to do that. It's trying to lessen the pain that we're feeling. And it thinks by blaming somebody else, it'll lessen the pain. But really, what it does is it just compounds on that pain and it takes the pain and the hurt that we're already feeling and it adds more pain by being resentful, by being angry. And I'm not saying that it's again, it is a natural response, it's a very human response. But I hope by listening to this, you can recognize, like, oh, yeah, like that's what I'm doing. I'm totally spiraling out right now. That's what I'm doing. And then I would just ask myself, like, do I want to choose to believe that or not? And it might not be a one and done for you. I know for me, like when we were working with the estate and like um sorting all these things, like that kept coming up, right? It kept coming up for me that like they have it easier. And that is it's not true, but it kept coming up. So I had to keep deciding if I wanted to believe that thought or if I wanted to challenge that thought and try to think and try to come up with something else and recognize when I'm starting to feel that way, like, no, what's something else I can tell myself instead? And so again, I am 5 years removed. It still does come up for me. So again, grief does not follow a schedule. It doesn't have a timeline. So this might come up for you for years, like it does for me. Or you might be able to recognize and practice and like work through this and find a few thoughts that really resonate with you to help you through, especially like this more difficult immediate time. And and then it'll just be easier later on when the thoughts are fewer and farther between. So I was kind of writing down a few things that, or a few thoughts. You can take them if they resonate with you. If not, like again, I encourage you to find the thought that's bothering you or the belief that's bothering you and try to come up with your own phrase or thought to put in your brain instead. And so I think one thing for me is to just tell myself this is hard, right? This is just hard. This is hard for everyone. Everyone going through this right now is having a hard time. We are all trying to manage this hard time. We are trying to adjust with this hard time. I am learning how hard this is, right? Because I think sometimes too, like, especially if this is your first um, death or loss that's really close to home, that's really hit you hard, it's a learning curve that you really don't know until you're in it. And it is the same with, I mean, anything in life, really, right? Like, as a parent, like, I thought, yeah, I'm for sure going to do this as a parent. I'm not going to do this. Like, I don't know, people can't control their kids, yada, yada. Like, then you get into it, you get into parenthood, and you're like, oh, right? Like, we just don't know what we don't know. And so, if this is your first really close to home death, like, I'm learning how hard this is. I am navigating the best I can. This is new terrain for me. This is new terrain for all of us. And so I hope that of those few thoughts that I threw out, that you can grab onto one or two. And when you start to feel that resentment, anger, pity party, like kind of like, again, I like to be like, okay, I'm acting like a toddler right now, like where you just get so in your head, like a toddler does, right? When they're trying to put on their socks and their socks aren't working and you cannot be logical with them. They just throw them across the room and they scream and rant and yell. Like it is an unfixable problem in their mind. And that is what our brain does over and over and over again. Even as we grow up, our brain is always telling us, like, this is not fixable. Nope, this is the best it's going to be. Like, this is horrible. We're always going to feel this way. Like, and so to kind of remove yourself from that toddler temper tantrum, like, no, remember, like, I have coping skills now. I have these thoughts that I can lean on. I don't want to hold on to that thought that is harming me. I want to lean on a thought that is bringing more relief and maybe a little peace and comfort in this time. So that is what I have for you today, my dear friends. And again, I apologize. My voice is very raspy still from this cold that seems to be never ending, but hopefully next week it'll be better. So, again, you guys can always email me at catholicgriefcoach@outlook.com. My website is up and going now. I'm super excited about that. So come and chat with me, book a free consult call, or sign up. I'm going to start doing grief groups starting May. And so you can go and get more information on that on the website. Or you can just sign up immediately to start working with me through one-on-one Voxer coaching. And I really help you through those hard moments when you're struggling, and I help you come up with more thoughts. We talk through things. Um, and again, it's not, family and friends are great, but sometimes they haven't been there. So they don't know what to say. They don't know how to help you and give you the tools like I have that I can help you through this. Not just to ride the waves as they hit you, but really like take control, find the buoy out in the ocean. That is me, your coach, and I'll help you with all the waves that feel never ending at times. So, CatholicGriefCoach.com. And I'm praying for you guys and have a blessed week.